Right. Hello, Wisdom. How are we? Yay, I'm back. Stephen Shields back on the Stephen Shields radio show right now. And just had the latest update on Wisdom, and I'm feeling great. I just did my meditation this morning. Ah, man, I feel great. I did breath work yesterday, and, you know, I really feel good. You know. So I wonder how's everyone going? And what have you been up to? And how have you been coping during these weird times? I've been, I started subscribing to the you know, Sydney Morning Herald. Basically, hearing a lot of stuff going on with the Ukraine and Vladimir Putin at the moment. It's like a complicated political process that's going on, guys. Virtually, think of it like this: it's just become like political football. Like, no one knows what's going to happen next with this Ukraine situation. If Joe Biden's going to send, you know, troops to the Ukraine, like we just don't know if Vladimir Putin will decide, to invade or what's going to happen. I don't know. Uh, Prime Minister Scott Morrison is telling Australians to get out of the Ukraine, and that makes sense. You've got to get out, and I'm sure Joe Biden is saying the same thing. And I'm just having my morning coffee at the moment, and virtually, wanting to live and manifest the best life that I have. Today's Australia Day while I'm recording this podcast. And, yeah, lots been happening. The US has decided to fly military equipment into the Ukraine for NATO unity. And, it's seems to be like it's a mess. So I feel that we've just got to live our lives to the best that we can. you know, I feel that I feel that, we despite all this problems with Ukraine and Russia, I mean, you just got to make sure that you're safe at the end of the day. And if you can be safe, that's all I ask. That's all I care for, that you're safe, you know, and you're living the best life that you can live. This problem with the Ukraine, I think this goes back to a couple of years ago when they sent troops. You know, like they could have just settled this in peace. And harmony. And not, you know, ending up getting, war and politics involved over the land, is my views. So that's what's happening right now, as we get the economy back up and running again in Australia. I mean, this Boris Johnson, that Christmas party is still going on, and I think they're investigating it. I don't know, what's he done now? What's Boris Johnson done now? I mean, I like to keep up to date on UK politics, Australian politics, American politics as well. And, so that's where I'm looking at going in my life. I mean, despite the economy falling every day, and, all you can do is just keep focusing on your dreams and your goals and your life and your career. To decide, hey, is my purpose really what I want to live for? Well, it seems to me this is just political football in my analysis. With Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin's a very powerful man. He was on Family Guy, actually. Should have seen that episode. It was quite funny. Vladimir. Oh God, Vladimir Putin, and then him and Peter Griffin have a little brawl like that. You remember the chicken fight? Vladimir Putin's, guards are just holding him. Oh God, I was cracking up laughing. I was watching it on Disney Plus. It's actually quite funny, Yeah, so the, you got to understand, like, Vladimir Putin can do literally whatever the fuck he wants. He's a powerful man. He can decide to go and invade another country tomorrow if he wants. People don't understand how powerful Russia is. I mean, Russia was once a communist country. Not anymore. They used to be a communist country. But, you know, despite all this shit going on, I mean, if you worked in a startup at the moment, and you just want to put all this crap behind you, I mean, you look, there was the Great Depression as well in the 30s when Napoleon Hill lived through the Great Depression. But it didn't stop him uh, pursuing success, I guess. Like on the weekend, I decided just to go on a hike for a day because I just needed it, and felt really good getting out, getting my oxygen, CO2. Getting out in nature. Is very important for my life. Yeah, see you on the Stephen Shields radio show right now. Also, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Stephen Shields radio show. Turn on your notifications on wherever you get your podcasts. New podcasts are available every Friday at 6 p.m. Sydney, Australia time. And also, too, I've got some great interviews as well. This is what I love about wisdom. I love doing my daily show on wisdom. Yeah, let me know where you are tuning in from too, and what you think about this. This situation with Vladimir Putin and the Ukraine going on as well. I mean, I suppose when you listen to Fox News, uh, I mean, a lot of it is going on about the Omicron variant. And I mean, this COVID situation hasn't helped. I remember back in 2020, all the news media, it was just COVID-19 every day. Oh, it was driving me nuts. You know. And, clearly we're still in the, well, see, we are in the third year of this pandemic, right? I don't know when this will end. All I can say is what the Premier of New South Wales, Dominic Perrottet, saying we just got to push through it. Yeah, he's right in certain ways. I mean, I'm sure wherever you are in the world, you're just fed up of this. I don't know if there will be a war in Russia. I just don't know. All I know is Putin is a very powerful man and he can do whatever he wants. It's like immigration is complicated to go to Russia just to get a visa. I don't know why the Russian visa is very complicated. You know, I guess immigration is a complicated thing. Don't forget, the visa is only the first step to getting you in the country. You know that. They can still deny you entry. That's only the first step. It's like people seem to just blame Russia all the time. And I wonder why this Ukrainian situation is political football. There's a lot of politics involved over land. I want to know your thoughts on the situation with Vladimir Putin and the Ukraine. All you need to do is just get on stage wherever you are. Let me know where you're tuning in from on the Stephen Shields radio show. This is a talk show, guys, so I like to talk and get your opinions on this situation, on this political climate as well. Or is this just political football as well? I mean, political football is nothing new. Political football was going on before I was even born. End of the day, war is business. So, see, I learnt a lot. This is what they're not teaching you in school about why they send our troops to war. It's because of business. War is business. It's profit. It's taken me years to realize this. Why the governments, they're very excited to talk about war. Even left and the right wing. Are both excited. So who knows where this situation in Russia is going to play out? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this is a sign of World War III. Quite possible. Quite possible Russia and China can pair up with each other. Don't forget, these are big countries. Russia is a huge country. So is China. So you wouldn't believe China have their own version of social media. That's why Facebook is banned in China. See, China get away with this stuff. How, I don't know. Their piracy laws are different than ours. I mean, inflation, we've still got an inflation problem at the moment. It never ends, you know. I just subscribe to the Sydney Morning Herald, play my daily Sudoku, my word fill-ins as well, been playing that, exercising my brain. And living the best life that I can live, and I'm always educating myself. I was watching American Dad last night. Oh my god. Oh god, that stuff was. Oh man, I was cracking up laughing. There was this episode where Roger, he's in a dog race and he's literally a dog. You know, George Bush was on American Dad. Yeah, the thing with Donald Trump, right? He should go back to shaving Vince McMahon's head bald again, like he did at WrestleMania. That would have been good. It would have been funny as hell. 'Cause that was just. And he shaves Vince McMahon's head bald. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh god. You know. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's a very complicated process with China and building relationships with China. That's why they have the G7 summit. You know. You know. This is why I love my talk show on wisdom, because I get to share my ideas with you. I really love wisdom. Wisdom's awesome. Yeah, it's the Stephen Shields radio show right now, guys. Let me know when you're tuning in from. Just hop on stage and what you think about this whole situation with Vladimir Putin and the Ukraine over the land of Ukraine. And how do you feel about the Australian Prime Minister telling Australians to get out of the Ukraine? Do you think that's a good idea, or should people be travelling to the Ukraine at the moment? Let me know. I'm Stephen Shields on the Stephen Shields radio show. I'm all the way in Sydney, Australia right now. Today is Australia Day when I'm recording this as well. And, I love what I do. I love getting to talk to people wherever you are, getting to share different ideas and, different innovations and how we can solve solutions to these problems that we are having. What solutions do we have to these situations as well? All you need to do is just get on the stage, let me know where you're from. I'm Stephen Shields. I am all the way in beautiful Sydney, Australia at the moment. And what I love about wisdom is getting to, share my ideas on this wonderful app as well. Also, I'm on that. I think there's another a video sharing platform called Rumble that I'm trying out at the moment. Apparently, it's not just uploading my shorts. I'm just testing Rumble out. I think Donald Trump was saying that it's another solution to YouTube's problem because YouTube just wants to take over the world. Yes, not good. Not good at all with YouTube. You know. Yeah, the algorithm on YouTube is just ridiculous. Really ridiculous. You know. I mean, finding your, I suppose, your subscribers are going to come and go. All right, your true subscribers, right? This is what gives me the shits about YouTube. Okay, you're going to get people that try sub for sub. Oh, can you sub to my channel? I'll subscribe to your channel. No, don't do that shit. Just don't do that. Okay. The thing is, sub for sub is a scam. You know. Alright, I can see we got a guest. Alright, here we go. Let's see. Oh, hi, Malcolm.
Steven, my man, you're always drinking coffee. Every time I come on here.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I get up about 8 in the morning. I do my meditation before I get on wisdom. I have a coffee and then I just talk on wisdom.
Ah, gotcha. That's good though. You have your one twos, your rhythms and what you do.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
good though. I mean, hey, I need to develop one like that, but I can't because I'm always inconsistent with what I do. So hey, you know. So, but to the topic, Vladimir Putin invades Ukraine. What you need to know. Oh man, I actually just read a
Mm,
story on that. It's really
yeah, go
fascinating.
for it.
It's really fascinating. My question is that where has this been animosity that's been long been top, and that people or our adversaries are finally getting? Well, I wouldn't call them our adversaries, but it's just why are we getting involved?
Yeah, well, Joe Biden, he was threatening to send U.S. troops to the Ukraine. I was reading in the Sydney Morning Herald, by
Yeah,
the
and
way.
his administration was like, "Oh God, Biden, please don't. Come on, you've already made bad decisions. Our economy's sucking because of you. Don't do
Mm.
that."
And he swore on TV at Fox News. Did you know that? He said
Biden,
the
yeah,
F word.
yeah, no, yeah. There's
For
been
a president.
there's been tons of interviews with Biden, impromptu interviews that he's had with reporters, where he's said a lot of things about people, even in
Mm.
regards to Donald Trump. But to the veracity of the F bomb, ooh, yikes!
Now, are you, mind me, are you African American, Malcolm?
Yeah, I am. I definitely
Can
am.
I ask you a question about Donald Trump? Did you find Donald Trump was a racist in your view?
Do I find Donald Trump to be a racist?
Yes.
From the yes, to answer that question, yes.
Okay. What was racist about Donald Trump?
His lack or thereof to support like all things aside, even though he apparently there's been information that surfaced that his families were part of, or his past family was part of the Ku Klux Klan. Besides that,
Shit.
oh, you didn't hear about that? Oh yeah, no,
No.
his just look it up. Trust me, that's worth a good read. But it's also just his inability to care for the American economy in aspects that also are should be helping African Americans as well, the community. He only cared
Yeah.
about that demographic because those numbers he thought, which didn't pan out the way that he expected to, would help him in his campaign, which failed him tremendously.
Shit.
He's a
Didn't know that.
fascist.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that guy. He shaved Vince McMahon's head bald at WrestleMania. Did you know that?
Excuse me?
Yeah, he shaved Vince McMahon's head bald.
Why is that?
I was at WrestleMania 23 because Vince McMahon lost a match. It was a hair versus hair match. It was quite funny. He should go back and do that. Not be president.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was entertainment, Malcolm.
I have no doubt that it wasn't. I mean, just the hey man, look, his whole presidency was entertainment. The Apprentice was entertainment.
Yeah, I remember The Apprentice, and he'd be like, "You're fired."
Yeah, and that's literally what he was doing. Like my father and I, every time some news
Mm,
broke out, and how he would handle it. Like this dude wouldn't even read the prompts on what was written to him for his speeches. This dude would always go off script. Like just he didn't care because he just
yeah,
wanted his words to matter more than that of what they were telling him. Just imagine
yeah.
the his voice writer, his speech writer, just thinking like, man, he doesn't let me write anything for him. He always makes me like because you can say like what'll happen is they will from what I've learned is prepare a speech for you and they can either omit things, they will say you can
Mm,
say this or say that, or you can go based off of that. But he's the only
mm,
president that I've seen in my lifetime that has literally chosen to say screw all of that and just go off script and talk about his own agenda.
mm. It's pretty bad, Malcolm. Look, Malcolm, I would have thought that John McCain would have been a better president than Donald Trump. It's a shame John McCain passed away because he was a war veteran.
Yeah, that's a that's a yeah, I will say that it is really interesting that we
Mm,
don't have enough proper candidates for presidency, and that
mm,
with Trump's presidency, we had to kind of pick the best out of the worst because both candidates didn't have. It was him and Hillary Clinton, um,
yeah.
and that wasn't. Congress is
What
not
happened
ready.
to
Is not
what
ready
happened
for
to
it.
Mick
Yeah.
Romney? Where's Mick Romney?
He's doing whatever he does, and he dropped out of the campaign simply because people started to bash him politically,
Are you serious?
and
Shit.
yeah,
Was he a Republican or a Democrat?
he was a Republican.
So he was on the right, and they were bashing him for what?
What's not to bash a Republican about nowadays?
Well,
Same thing
George
for
Bush. Did he cop any bashing or not, Mr. Bush?
they all did. They all faced scrutiny from both sides, and now we're in our society nowadays, more politically, people are not as politically involved as they, or actually, no, people are more politically motivated nowadays than they once used to be because
Mm,
of the tension that's been going on in the White House. You know, we were supposed to have Biden's Build Back Better Act, but Biden can't even push that. Every time this dude puts up legislation in the White House, his whole administration at this point, even people on both sides of the aisle, Republicans, and even his own Democrat, he's literally making at this point his own party's against him. So now when he drives up legislation, they dissect it and like, well, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't think I want that to be approved. So when things go through the House of Representatives, they go to the Senate because that's how a bill is passed through. And
yeah.
before the bill even gets to his desk, Senate has already chopped that bill, that piece of legislation, and dissected into 100 different kinds of provisions, and it looks nothing like what it was supposed to be drafted. What it was originally drafted up in the House of Representatives. Because once it gets to the
Mm,
Senate, that's like it's like American Idol, dude. Like you, you go for an interview, and once you go to the interview, you sing in front of a table of amateur judges. Once you sing in front of the table of amateur judges, then you go to a contest, and then you have to win that contest. And once you win that contest, you finally feel like you can go before, you know, those various studious judges: Simon Cowell, Jennifer Lopez, Pharrell, and I forgot what the other judge is. Long story short, it's a process, like it is, like a bill. A bill is a process, and sometimes, what was the statistic? 65% of bills drafted in the House of Representatives are killed in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
That's depressing.
Mm.
Because the Senate's like,
Yeah,
ooh, we don't like this.
yeah, it's pretty messy, isn't it? Even in Australia, Malcolm, like uh, the Prime Minister Scott Morrison's telling Australians to get out of the Ukraine and come home.
So who's going to be there then if you guys withdraw?
I think America will go because that's what Joe Biden's planning on doing, is sending troops to America. I don't know if he's gonna pair up with the Ukraines. I don't know.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I think I'll probably. I think we'll eventually find out what's going on then at that point.
Uh-huh.
But as far as that knows, I only have limited knowledge on that specific, um, well, situation because I haven't been looking into politics. I've been looking more into market news and stuff. But it seems to me as though Congress needs to wrap their head around what's the gravity of the issue, because right now Congress is dealing with bipartisan bill. They're dealing with legislation, trying to pass legislation. They're right now in the process of splitting up the Build Back Better Act, which was supposed to be a whole trillion dollars spending, but because of Joe Manchin, don't get me started on this guy. They, they they've had to literally break that up. But I can't help but feel like that was orchestrated so that, because when you split up a bill, a bigger bill, you get to find that gives Congress, which consists of over 435 members,
Mm,
the opportunity to make provisions that they see fit that are in the benefit of them.
mm,
And at one point, because I'm in the military, in
mm-hmm,
Biden Build Back Better Act, in the Secretary of Defense segment, there was supposed to be a 3% pay grade increase for people that are in the military.
mm-hmm.
But now that doesn't look as likely anymore. As sad as it is to say, we are long overdue
So,
for a pay grade increase.
so, being in the military, Malcolm, are you on minimum wage or you're above the minimum wage?
You know, if I could equate the salary base that we make to minimum wage, I would say it's above minimum wage. If I'm being honest with you, at least
Yeah.
for the state of Ohio, it's above the average minimum wage, because
Mm,
the lowest rank in the military, which is a private, their salary, I believe, is a little over 25,000 a year.
That's 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 less than what an Australian troop would make. Way less.
Well, it seems like you guys have better resources than we do.
In Australia, I think I'm just guessing a private might make probably 50,000 a year, roughly.
America's all for show. At the end of the day,
Mm,
they're like, you know what? We're the land of the free and the home of the brave, but not actually, because we have so many laws and statutes that will make you feel as though you are going to be an individualized citizen that will be under the subservient control of us. Says it
mm-hmm,
is to say, we're for show. So other
mm,
countries look at us like we're weak. And I, quite frankly, as sad as it is to say, as an American, can understand why they look at us as we are inferior. At
mm,
the G8 summit, Trump made a proposal about tariffs to
mm,
all the leaders at that, which in this case were Canadian. It was, of course, the prime minister. It was, of course, the Chinese, the North Korean leader, several other individuals invited to the table, and they all looked at him like he was a joke. They were like, "Who does this guy think he is? This new president? There's only you get 4 years to make something of yourself." So they each and every time there's a new president, because these leaders, they usually stay in their positions for quite some time because their
mm,
economies are ran different than the United States. So they already look down on an American economy as it is, and we're
mm-hmm,
already showing signs of weakness simply because our debt ceiling, like it's just there's so many things going on in America that it's just like, wow, why couldn't we grasp this sooner? But the ones that truly know what's going on are the ones that are orchestrating these issues, which is exactly why they're existing issues now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Australia's got a lot of debt too because of the war.
Well, you would think that would alleviate some of their debt, considering that war generates revenue.
See, I never understood why war is profit. I've never understood that.
Reparations.
Oh, but it's funded by taxpayers' money.
That's like you wrecking my car
Mm-hmm.
and you paying for it.
Oh, that's
Even if
complicated.
it's more complicated than I can express with words, but in the simplest way, revenue is generated by the damage done unto us or by the amount of aid. Now, I would love to hear anybody in the audience that is a historian, perhaps, to also add to this if they can, because I would love to learn more personally.
Uh-huh.
But as far as limited to the knowledge that I do have, is that apparently in the U.S., the biggest things that generate revenue is pharmaceutics, reparations, and war. And what else is it? What is it? You have pharmaceutics, you have drugs, you have war. Oh, and taxes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
taxes. Yeah, taxes. Every state has different tax rates.
yes, they do. Yes, each and every state has a sovereignty, individual sovereignty, and we can thank the United States Constitution for that. But
Uh-huh.
yes, they have a different tax rate. They obviously have different brackets in terms of government, from when it goes to local government to obviously federal government. So, but
Mm-hmm.
yes, different states, different taxes, different laws.
So let's talk about the Taliban. I was reading in the Sydney Morning Herald. They just raided a random person's house, Malcolm.
The Taliban,
Yeah,
did they do it in their own country?
yeah.
That's the thing.
That's just and there's still mess going on since Joe Biden pulled all and Australia pulled out as well.
And there always will be. He kind
Yeah.
of set the collision course for America democracy and well, America's faith in democracy.
Mm. So this is what's going on because I like to keep up to date on what's going on in the world as well. Uh, Boris Johnson is being investigated for that Christmas party as well.
Yeah, everybody is under a little bit of scrutiny right now.
There's so much corruption in politics these days.
Always has been.
Yeah, you know. So like Vladimir Putin. Let's go back to Vladimir Putin. He's a very powerful man.
Indeed, he is.
Now Russia's got their own vaccine. I think it's the Sputnik or something.
Oh, the what?
The Sputnik.
Sputnik?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yet it's not recognised by the Australian government, US. They don't recognise it. The Russian vaccine.
So you're saying that this is an un-FDA approved vaccine,
Yes, at the moment.
and they're still vaccinating people with this?
Yeah, in Russia.
Huh.
Oh, serious?
Oh no, I'm not doubting what you're saying. It's just I didn't know that.
You know, and
Really? Get out. Their
yeah,
vaccination's that low?
yeah,
Oh, they must be have some concentrated steroids in them bad boys, something like that sort. No, I'm kidding.
yeah. Remember, I was talking about China before. Like all, like when president goes to the G7 summit, they talk relationships with China.
Yes, that's amongst one of the discussions and topics that they talk about because everybody, China is one of the, well, it's they're very big in distribution, obviously, and imports
Mm.
and exports.
Mhm. But see, China have their own version of social media too, and their own Facebook.
Yes, and some applications have actually been banned from being accessed by Chinese entities, and so on and so forth on their end, which is exactly why, like China has their version of game shows, and U.S. has their version of game shows based off of the influence of Chinese game shows or other game shows as well. So
Yeah.
we influence one another. It's kind of pathetic.
Mm. Scary.
It's not scary. It's the harsh reality of the world that we live in right now, Stephen. I mean,
Mm.
you have to understand that ideas are stolen, patents are taken, people are bought
Mm-hmm.
or sold out with money, and all it takes is
Mm-hmm.
just to make a transaction, and you could be a felony. Because like now, since they've banned or they're in the process of banning crypto mining in Russia, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the reason. If anyone's curious as to why cryptocurrency, more specifically Bitcoin, is in a current state of downtrend, because a lot of the mining was done in that country, as well as China as well. And now, since these countries are banning the mining or even the purchase of these currencies, which I personally believe is a power grab,
Mm-hmm.
it's creating a lot of problems because it's like it seems like when people get their hands on something, it's always taken away from them. That liberty, that
Mm-hmm.
freedom, that centralized currency, more
Mm.
specifically. It's just sad. We can't have joy in this world. And if we want joy in this world, we have to buy it.
I know. I'm fed up with it. I really am fed up.
Why should I have to buy pleasure?
It's business. Pleasure is business now. Everything's
Yeah,
business. Corporations are slowly taking over the world.
slowly. They've always have been. They've always had influence.
Mm. I mean, I'd rather go to my local takeaway shop up the road and give $10 for a nice schnitzel wrap instead of giving that to McDonald's.
Say that one more time.
A schnitzel wrap, like you know what a wrap is with schnitzel, chicken.
Oh, I didn't know what that was, to be truthful
Oh,
with
like a
you.
burger, chicken. I'll call it a burger. I'd rather give it to a takeaway shop, a small business, instead of McDonald's. Think about that.
That's good. That's a good mindset. Because
Yeah.
if they're making it naturally, of course, and they're making it
Mm.
with the homemade ingredients or perhaps the crops or whatever is needed to make that product. For instance, my friend Louise, to be specific,
Mm-hmm.
he goes to a farm to get his milk instead of
Mm-hmm.
going to a store like Walmart, perhaps, where it is mass produce,
Mm.
and he gets his natural milk from
Mm-hmm.
homegrown, grown and raised, of course, cattle. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Good on
much
him.
more natural.
Mm-hmm. Didn't the FDA want to stop people growing their own vegetables at one point?
That happened.
Yep.
Was that 2005?
It happened in 2005.
I think so.
Did
Shit.
they ever accomplish that agenda? No. Interesting.
So they didn't. They didn't stop it.
I guess not. This is
Wow.
all
Because I thought
alternative.
I thought that the FDA didn't want people growing vegetables, and they were like fining people, and like they wanted you to buy it from the supermarkets.
Well, that's the whole motive behind anything is that if they can control it, control the distribution of it, so that
Mm.
they can continue to make money, then
Mm-hmm.
of course they're going to try to. Like with the whole drug campaign. I mean, I'm gonna,
Mm-hmm.
if I dwell too much on this topic, I'll go down to historical references. But long story short, because there's so much, because people can grow the specific crop, which
Uh-huh.
I learned was marijuana, and at the time it was a huge crackdown on it because too many people had access to it, and that because they had access to it, the U.S. government felt like, oh crap, people are making money off of this. We got to control this right away. Kind of think, an accurate reference to make what I'm trying to say is
Mm-hmm.
cryptocurrency. It's because people know that they're making money off of this, tons of money, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like that. They don't like that it's
I
too easy to make money.
I made 1 cent in cryptocurrency.
Hey, that's 1 cent more than you had previously.
I want to make $1 million.
And it's possible. There's been too many millionaires made in the past 2 years through cryptocurrency, and the government tracks it, obviously, which is exactly why they want to tax crypto as well. Well, the American government, or they want to centralize it, meaning you buying digital currency throughout centralized platforms. That way, America or the Federal Reserve has more control over your assets. Thus, it's always been digital in a sense, but that's a whole nother topic for another day.
So, cryptocurrency, why is it so complicated?
Well, it's not complicated. That's the thing. People just don't know about it.
Oh, because you go to like seminars, people make it out it's this and this and this, and algorithms and all these numbers, and people make it out very complicated.
Well, that's because those are the people that are, either coders or they understand how it operates. And people make
Oh,
cryptocurrency sound more difficult than it truly is because if you're passionate about something, of course you're going to know it from the foundation to up. Of course, I mean, like I've took some time off for myself to understand and do some deep research into crypto. And if I were to explain cryptocurrency to you, I would probably lose a vast majority of the audience that's still here. Oh, and I'd probably sound crazy. But the whole point is that in a nutshell,
yeah.
it's actually simple, but people make it sound complicated because they speak from passion. Like when
Yeah.
if you're a nurse practitioner, of course you'll speak about the ins and out of something that goes on. I don't need to know that. I'm not a nurse practitioner, so break it down, make it simple for me.
Mm,
So yeah,
exactly. Simplicity is what you want.
yep. Because Americans are
Yeah.
dumb. No, I'm kidding. So, ooh, I'm on a roll here. Let me stop. All right. But yeah.
Hey, you heard of BHP? Have you?
Excuse me.
BHP? They're like a the mining company.
There's tons of them out there. I haven't heard of them specifically.
How do you feel about mining corporations taking over?
Well, that's something that was going to be inevitable in the inception of cryptocurrency from the beginning, because
Mm,
once they know that they can hire people to mine this kind of stuff using electricity, which to the government means virtually nothing since they can print money out of nowhere.
mm.
Of course, they're going to try to make something out of it, and of course, make a corporation out of it, so that they can continue to hoist that control over the decentralized community.
Yeah, that's like they end up. I think in Alaska they have an oil rig in the middle of the ocean.
I didn't know that.
I don't get why would you put an oil rig in the ocean and pollute it?
Well, some oil rigs, from my limited knowledge, are put in a certain position because that's where they can uh, extract the most oil.
Yeah,
So
there's so
that's
much in the ocean, Malcolm, that that we just don't know about the ocean.
you're telling me.
Mm.
There's buried treasure
Like
there, probably.
flight MH370, they ended up finding it.
And where was it?
I think it was in the Indian Ocean somewhere.
Interesting.
Yeah, mysteries.
There's a lot of things that they don't tell us simply because there are opportunists out there in the world. So if they know about it, obviously they would try to seek their own kind of mission, a personal mission. That's
Mm.
like saying, "Hey guys, there's gold at the bottom of the ocean. Whoever gets it wins." No, why would we do that? That would create so much chaos and problem. And the people that study in that field of work, of course, marine biologists, feel as though there would just be so many more problems as a result of that. Which is why it's better for, as it is to say, it's better for entities to withhold information than to let us know about it, because of course we would try to find our own which way to go about um, figuring
Mm.
out the piece to the puzzle, or
Mm.
figuring out what the puzzle means essentially.
Well, it seems to me politics is a game of chess. It's
Life,
complicated.
life is a game of chess. If you want, every everything's a little game of chess. If I must be honest with you, it's all in strategy.
Yeah, politics is strategy. It's almost like a soap opera.
It's more so like a entertaining TV show to me nowadays. Whenever I see politics on the TV, I just think, huh, that's what's happening in American politics.
Mm.
Not as
Same
surprising.
in same in Australian politics.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt, man. But that's the
You know.
world we live in now. That's what we have to accept. I mean, we have ourselves in a sense to blame for us
Hmm.
Americans, simply because we aren't as, or at least not until recently, as active when it comes to the primary elections, when it comes to voting for our judges, when it comes to voting for our city mayors. You know, it was left to older generations to do that kind of thing, to take those responsibilities on themselves. At least that's what society made it seem. But we
Hmm.
need to become more active in our communities to vote and to put a voice out there so we can put the right people in the right positions. But it says it is to
Hmm.
say that with American politics, as my parents always say, I mean, once you get in there, you kind of become corrupted by the system. You go in there with one
Hmm.
reason and come out with several other reasons and more excuses.
See, there was the New York mayor that I don't think people like for some reason.
Well, the New York mayor is relatively new. Are you speaking
Mm.
about the recent New York mayor or the older one?
The one in 2020 or the recent one that he was creepy or something.
Are you referring to the governor of New York?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he had to abdicate from his position because of the fact that he had sexual allegations against him.
Oh God, was he a Democrat or a Republican?
He was a Democrat, bless you.
Oh God. So he was on the left.
Yeah, he was on the
Oh,
left, but it's funny. His brother was leaning on the right. It's funny.
and he's doing that shit. Ah, that's ridiculous.
Yes, you're talking about Governor Cuomo of New York, and his
Yeah,
brother
he was.
Cuomo Primetime of CNN. Yeah, he lost his bit, so they both kind of went down in
Yeah,
flames.
I think he was on that movie with Sacha Baron Cohen on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I wouldn't know, but that is interesting to know.
Yeah,
Interesting.
he was creepy. That guy. How,
as as
see,
much as,
how, how do they get away with that? That's ridiculous.
Money.
yeah, money.
Yeah, money, I guess.
It
You know.
talks, and always will.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like Donald Trump. How much stuff has he gotten away with? Tax evasion, taxes, allegations.
Oh man, the list. I think the things of the stuff that yeah, he has a pretty scandalous career, to say the least.
Yeah, I think why they voted Donald Trump into power was to put America bankrupt, to finally declare bankruptcy.
One could go with that motive, but one
Yeah.
could also suggest that America has been in a rut for quite some time now.
Hmm.
And no matter who was in office, it was inevitable that the American democracy would eventually face the wrath of financial negligence at the expense of our elected members in the Federal Reserve, and of course, people that work for central banks, because central banks also orchestrate these financial issues that we're currently going through.
Mm.
And it is proven through the rising interest rates right now in the US.
Yeah. Yeah. So much rising interest rates in Australia too.
They're not as inflationary as it is in the Americas. I will say, you guys
Yeah.
know how to get a grasp over your economy,
Uh-huh.
and it seems like we are letting ours just go to crap in a sense.
Again.
I'm trying to walk around my words here.
Yeah, the American dollar apparently is the most powerful currency in the world.
Oh, undoubtedly. Yet it is losing its value, and they refuse to admit that. But it's funny because if the American dollar wasn't losing its value, then the American government wouldn't be interested in cryptocurrency, but they are. You answered that for me. Why are they interested in cryptocurrency now all of a sudden?
Yeah, weird.
It's because they know that that's an area of potential, an area where they can seek more control over our monetary system.
Mm-hmm.
But if I stretch this topic any further, I'll sound once again like I'm crazy.
It's interesting because I've started becoming interested in cryptocurrency myself.
Do you invest in it?
Yes.
And that 1 cent that you made, has that doubled since then, or
No, because the market's down at the moment.
it's negative 1 cent now?
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's the whole stock market and crypto market's down.
Yeah, that's simply because of, well, they're taking out all of the crypto whales right now. They're saying, hey, stop mining here.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that, because a vast majority of the crypto population
Mm.
was mined in these specific countries. Once again, being China. Once again, being
Mm.
Russia. And the third best being the US. So now we're all left with thinking, what's going to happen next? So now you have people that are scared, and they're selling because they're scared of the fact that, because people, it's funny, the people that have been involved in crypto since its inception, Bitcoin in 2009, those are the
Mm.
ones that are probably still holding now. But the people that are just now hopping onto the crypto wave, they're like, oh my god, I'm so excited to get involved in this movement. I'm really happy. I'm making money. Those are the ones that are
Mm.
selling because they probably may not understand what it's like to go through a bearish channel, meaning going
Mm.
downwards. So now they're afraid of losing the financial stability that they've found and trusted in this specific system, i.e., blockchain,
Mm.
and that accounts for a vast majority of the buying and selling traffic in crypto right now. Is the people that
Mm.
are the most newest in this, and crypto honestly started gaining more traction when other coins came about, like Ethereum.
Mm.
But Ethereum's a whole network though too. But they have an ETH coin in a sense as well.
I looked into Ethereum, but it's like $50 just to get your first wallet.
Well, you're looking at the wrong places then, my friend, because you shouldn't have to pay to buy and purchase and use Ethereum.
That's what it is on the app to
What
put
if I?
to deposit.
Oh, well, maybe that's the minimum deposit,
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
but that's only for certain. That's only for certain platforms, though. Like with the platform that I use, you don't have to have minimum deposit. You can just deposit as little as you want, and it's on like these are decentralized platforms that don't have restrictions. It sounds to me as though you're using a platform that has restrictions and are monitored by central banks, which in the crypto community is a no-no.
Yeah, well, I haven't put anything in, so
Gotcha.
uh, Ethereum, like, I get confused when you got to open up your whole Bitcoin wallet. I'm like, what the hell is this?
So, if you're not familiar with it, one thing I would suggest you doing whenever you get the chance is to do a little bit of due diligence, do a little bit of research, because no one's going to be as sure as making a decision as you will yourself. And you need to be confident in what you're investing in. Like when I invest in an asset or a company or anything that will that generate revenue, I want to know what I'm buying. I don't
Mm,
invest blindly. Like I once used to do that, but I lost more than I gained by investing blindly. And if
mm-hmm,
you're not sure of what it is that you're buying, you need to know for yourself, or
mm.
go through as my chief calls it, YouTube University.
Oh, God.
YouTube has a lot of things on there. It's a very very powerful tool you can use to your advantage. Or you can get suckered out by some guy that'll charge you $150 to attend his seminar, and he'll teach you everything you want to know about Bitcoin when you could have
Mm-hmm,
researched that information and found it yourself.
mm. Yeah, yeah, I guess it's a learning thing for me.
You got to put yourself to the challenge, man. That's how you succeed, is when you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah,
So
investing.
yes,
The
it is
fun,
important.
fun. I've always thought, like, if you're investing in pharmaceuticals, you've got a great chance of success.
And
It depends. Like right now, I'm gonna tell you, if you invested in pharmaceuticals in March of 2020, you probably, woo, you would have made big. You would have
Hmm.
made great, a killing on the market. Um,
Hmm.
so Richie wouldn't know too. So
yeah, exactly. You'd be so rich you wouldn't
Mm.
know what to do. But it's like as sad as it is to say, it's more so when you're investing in pharmaceutics, you have to look at market trends because that's one of those. I don't want to call it a growth asset, but it is a
Hmm.
growth asset because it has so much stability and
Mm.
backing by several government corporations and funded projects.
Hmm.
So there is longevity in investing in pharmaceutics. But more specifically, I will say, as an investor, there's potential investing in biotech pharmaceutics because that's where we are advancing right now in our economy. It's biotechnology,
Mm.
biological technology.
Well, yeah. I mean, as an investor, I'm investing in Netflix as well, because again, I use a app called Spaceship Voyager, and yes, they do take a I think it's a commission when you sell, but you got to start somewhere, dude.
Commission fees are not fun
Mm.
because that's like them taking a piece of your earnings, which is
Mm.
why there
True.
are platforms out there that don't charge commission fees.
Yeah. Look, with this Ethereum and MetaMask, uh, I don't know.
You seem unsure.
Yeah, just
Well,
don't know how to do it.
look, you can. I tell you what, Stephen, I can guide you in the right direction if you reach out to me on back channels. If you really are curious about investing or just getting
Yeah.
involved into crypto or wanting to know more, like just reach out to me, click on my profile, and that's for anybody in the audience as well. If you guys are curious, you don't even have to invest, but if you do want to know more or ask me questions, just reach out and with my Twitter account on here, my Clubhouse, my Instagram, and actually my the great thing here is that the YouTube link on here is connected to my finance channel and to my company MOT Media. So I'm the co-founder, and Luis, which is the person that you would speak with, Steven. He's a crypto whale. He's been in crypto longer than me, so
Yeah.
he can also navigate you through this as well. So step by step procedures. So just reach
Sure.
out to me on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll do. And so, what are you planning to do for the rest of your afternoon?
Gonna go to dinner with some friends, colleagues, and probably hit the hay because I probably have a long day ahead of me tomorrow. So that's gonna be interesting.
Wow. And yeah, cryptocurrency is definitely sounds to be the future. And NFTs, I've been hearing a lot about NFTs lately.
Yes, non
I
fungible
don't.
tokens.
Yeah. There was an episode on South Park post COVID. I think Butters is selling NFTs. It's quite funny, and he's a
Yes.
businessman.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to the fast food. He's like, "We're gonna fuck them all with NFTs."
That was a funny skit. I watched it myself because he was like, "That's where the world is heading." It's true though. It's true.
I was cracking up laughing, Mark. I was laughing to the point I was gonna cry.
But the truth behind that message is that these businesses are adopting the NFT network so
Yeah.
that they can use it as a means to continue to generate revenue for their businesses because they know that NFTs are going to be one of the next hottest things. And in fact, people are making trends out of non fungible
Mm,
tokens right now because it's so
mm,
new on the market. Because NFTs have been around relatively about maybe 1 to 2 years. Now, somebody can
mhm,
misquote me, somebody can fact check me because I'm not as
mhm,
involved in the NFT community, so please do tell me that I'm wrong on back channels. But from the limited information that do know is that as companies find new ways to generate revenue without having to directly ask people and also raise their prices um, and losing customer revenue, they find it easier to, like generate revenue through the decentralized platforms.
mm. Yeah, non fungible tokens.
Hmm.
Interesting. Very
It is
interesting.
it,
The
it is
world.
very interesting. It's an area of unlimited potential because it's utilizing a decentralized database that will allow for flexibility when it comes to people spending the money to and from
Mm.
anywhere, and there's no stipulations attached to. But yeah, it's to each their own. To each their own.
See, I tried to sell my artwork on a NFT website, but you had to open a Bitcoin wallet and deposit. I was like, how the hell do I do this?
So once you open a Bitcoin wallet, you will be given a unique address that you can use
Hmm.
so people can reference, and that's how you will generate revenue, is by utilizing that address as a non-fungible token. Because the way it works is that in order to acquire an NFT, you have to have cryptocurrency. So you basically have to
Oh,
use cryptocurrency to acquire an NFT or to make one yourself.
yeah.
And you're
Wow.
purchasing, when you purchase an NFT, you're using cryptocurrency to purchase it. You're not using USD. That's what also makes it unique.
But see, this one on Ethereum on the app, they wanted me to purchase cryptocurrency in AUD, Australian dollar.
Say that one more time.
They wanted me to purchase crypto in Australian dollar with the app.
Monetary systems will vary
Yeah, I was like, if you don't have the money to invest, well, how can you invest?
by saving money.
Yeah.
That's the best thing I can say. Is like but that's just coming from a random guy myself. That would, instead of buying the best new pair of Jordans, I would just save that money, that $200 extra, and use it as a means to. Because the way I look at money now is completely different from
Yeah.
how I would only assume the average person looks at it. Because if you were to throw $200 in my face, I'm looking at 200, 400, 600, 800, $1,200 because I know what I could do with the $200
Mm,
to make more money out of that. Because the way I think about it is the money you're spending on your daily assets, things that you rely on, you could have more of that, abundance, in
mm,
fact. So why would I
mm,
waste that money if I can multiply it? That's
mm.
just an investor's mindset. I just don't see money the average way, or the societal way, as they say. But yeah.
Yeah, I think to me you've got a very good economics brain, by the sound of it. You can pick up on this stuff quicker than me.
But anyone can. It's really simple stuff, and it's all out there. The information is out there if you're ever curious about it. And it's a better time than never. Like right now is the best time to get involved, or at least to understand in the simplest way you can what cryptocurrency is, what an NFT is, because eventually you're going to hear more talks about it. Eventually, companies are going to broadcast this kind of stuff, and eventually
Mm,
it's going to become a more prominent a prominent means of exchange amongst
hmm.
several different parties. And I wouldn't be surprised that if you pull up to a McDonald's drive-through and they say, okay, would you like cash, credit, or Bitcoin? Like, it's serious. I mean, at one point you could purchase a Tesla using cryptocurrency. I'm not lying.
Shit.
So yeah, just think about it. The world's advancing. But I'm gonna pop on out of here. I do appreciate being on the show as always, Stephen. So
Thanks,
um,
Malcolm.
absolutely, I look forward to another discussion with you in the future, man. You take care, and you be you. All right.
You too. See ya. All right, that was Malcolm. That was a great interview today with Malcolm on the current trends that we have in our world right now. Uh, you know, I'm all the way in Sydney, Australia, and yeah, I love doing my show on wisdom and getting up in the morning. If there's anyone else that would like to come on the stage before I close the room, you're most welcome to come and say hi or introduce yourself wherever you are and how you feel about the problems we are having in the Ukraine at the moment and Vladimir Putin, cryptocurrency as well. If cryptocurrency is going to be taxed, wouldn't surprise me if the government's going to try and take that cut of your crypto in the future, or NFTs, non-fungible tokens. But if not, I'd like to wish everyone good afternoon or good evening to my US audience, good morning to my Australian audience, wherever you are. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the Stephen Shields radio show. New podcasts are available every Friday at 6 p.m. Sydney, Australia time. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a new episode as well. I'm starting to experiment with some videos on Rumble at the moment. I'll put that link in the description as well. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shields Productions. You get new videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Sydney, Australia time. And if you'd like to purchase my music on Bandcamp, you're most welcome to support me. If you purchase a track, you get to download that to your device forever. And that's saying, I'm Stephen Shields on the Stephen Shields radio show. Bye for now.